I don't feel lost tonight, just slightly out of focus, like the world kept moving while I stood and noticed. Nothing's falling apart, nothing's coming together. It's the space in between that I remember. I've been watching how people talk when they don't expect replies. How truth sounds different when it isn't trying to shine. I don't interrupt the moment, I don't feel every pause. Some things reveal themselves when you don't push for applause. I don't reach for meaning, I let it arrive. Most things explain themselves if you give them time. I don't need to feel certain, I don't need control, I don't need every answer to feel whole. Let the questions stay open, I let the night decide. Some things don't ask for action, they just ask to exist beside. I've seen promises made loudly disappear by noon. I trust what stays consistent when nobody's in the room. I don't confuse attention with being understood. Silence has a way of showing what's real and good. I don't hurry resolution, I don't force a sign. Clarity has its own pace and it's rarely on time. I don't need to feel certain, I don't need control, I don't need every answer to feel whole. I let the questions stay open, I let the night decide. Some things don't ask for action, they just ask to exist beside. There's comfort in not defining every step I take. I don't need a narrative for every choice I make. I'm not avoiding direction, I'm not standing still. I'm learning how to listen before I choose my will. I don't turn moments into lessons the second they appear. Some experiences need distance before they're clear. I don't need to feel certain, I don't need control, I don't need every answer to feel whole. I let the questions stay open, I let the night decide. Some things don't ask for action, they just ask to exist beside. I used to translate every feeling into something I could explain, but not everything meaningful fits inside a frame. There are thoughts that only surface when language steps aside. When you stop narrating life and let it quietly happen, live. I don't want my days compressed into conclusions too fast. Some meaning shows up slowly, long after the moment's passed. I'm not chasing resolution, I'm not afraid of doubt. I trust the weight of things that don't immediately sort themselves out. I don't need to name it to know it's real. I don't need to feel certain, I don't need control. I don't need to feel certain, I don't need control. I don't need every answer to feel whole. I let the questions stay open, I let the night decide. Some things don't ask for action, they just ask to exist beside. Morning comes without instruction, no conclusion in its light. I don't rush to understand it, I just let it feel right. If clarity shows up later, I'll meet it when it does. Until then, I stay present, that's enough. No emphasis, no resolve, just a moment left home.
I don't wake up chasing something new, I just let the morning come. The ceiling fan, the open blinds, another day already begun. I've said enough to fill a room, I've stayed quiet just the same. Somewhere between the noise and calm, I learned how to stay in my name. I don't need the highs to feel alive, I don't need to prove my worth. I've been learning how to stand my ground without raising my voice first. I don't need it loud, I don't need it fast, I don't need a feeling that's built to crash. I just need it honest, something that lasts. I don't need the moment, I need the past. I watch people burn themselves out, trying to be more than real, turning love into a performance just to feel something they can't feel. I've done that too, I won't lie, I've worn masks I couldn't keep. But peace doesn't ask for attention, it just stays when you let it be. I don't chase the echo anymore, I don't run from the quiet sound. Some truths don't hit you all at once, they settle in when you slow down. I sit with questions, I don't rush them out the door. Some answers take repetition, some don't show up anymore. I've made peace with being unfinished, with not knowing what's ahead. I'd rather walk in the right direction than sprint where everyone else has been. I don't need to be impressive, I don't need to win the room. I just need to recognize myself when I look at what I choose. I don't need it loud, I don't need it fast, I don't need a feeling that's built to crash. I just need it honest, something that lasts. I don't need the moment, I need the past. I've seen love turn into leverage, I've seen silence used as power. I've seen people confuse intensity for something deeper, something truer. But what stays when the lights go down, when nobody's watching the frame? That's the part I trust now, that's the part I choose to name. I don't need to be remembered by how high I ever climbed. I'd rather be steady in my footsteps than dramatic in my decline. There's a strength in being centered, there's a confidence in calm. You don't have to break the silence to know exactly where you are. I'm not bored, I'm not numb, I'm just done confusing peace with giving up. I don't need it loud, I don't need it fast, I don't need a feeling that's built to crash. I just need it honest, something that lasts. I don't need the moment, I need the past. The rhythm doesn't change much, and that's the point. Some lives aren't meant to spike, they're meant to hold. I don't need a sudden ending, I don't need a sign. I'm good moving forward, one clear step at a time. No echo, no release, just a steady breath and peace.
The train starts moving before I'm ready. Windows shaking, morning still blue. Someone's laughing 3 rows behind me, like they already know where they're going to. Coffee spills just a little on my sleeve. Nobody acts, nobody cares. Every face is a separate story, passing through the same air. There's a kid counting stations out loud, like it's a game he plans to win. A woman rehearsing apologies, she'll never actually sin. I don't know any of their names, they don't know mine at all. But for 10 stops we're synchronized until the moment dissolves. Funny how connection doesn't ask if it's meant to last. Sometimes it's just alignment, then it's past. We don't meet for a reason, we don't meet to stay. We cross paths like subtitles, then fade away. No promise, no reminder, no reason to pretend. Some moments are just movement, with a beginning, not an end. A man keeps staring at his hands like they owe him an explanation. Someone hums a melody from a different generation. I catch my reflection in the glass, looks like someone I almost know. Funny how you recognize yourself when your head is somewhere else. I don't need the moment to matter beyond what it is. Not everything fleeting needs to be missed. We don't meet for a reason, we don't meet to stay. We cross paths like subtitles, then fade away. No promise, no reminder, no reason to pretend. Some moments are just movement, with a beginning, not an end, then fade away. Then fade away. I've learned not to romanticize every face I pass. Some stories are complete in the time they last. There's beauty in anonymity and knowing nothing sticks. Life doesn't always whisper, sometimes it just clicks. I don't chase permanence in temporary space. I let the moment pass me at its pace. We don't meet for a reason, we don't meet to stay. We cross paths like subtitles, then fade away. No promise, no reminder, no reason to pretend. Some moments are just movement, with a beginning, not an end. People talk like meaning has to anchor down, like it disappears if it doesn't stick around. Motion has its own truth, distance has its role. Some connections only exist to remind you of the whole. I don't need every encounter to carve a scar or a sign. Some are simply proof that lives overlap in time. If I remember these faces, it won't be with regret, just a quiet recognition. Everyone I almost met, just passing through, just a line. We don't meet for a reason, we don't meet to stay. We cross paths like subtitles, then fade away. No promise, no reminder, no reason to pretend. Some moments are just movement, with a beginning, not an end. side, everyone becomes a direction. I step out carrying nothing but a temporary connection. The platform feels unfamiliar, but I don't feel alone. I was part of something brief before I moved on. No goodbye, no sign, just different lives continuing their line. We wake up at the same time, out alert alignment. Your breath matches the room, like it's been practicing. Nothing feels broken, nothing feels intense. Comfort fills the silence without asking what it meant. We know each other's schedules better than our moves. Conversation lands softly, never risking truth. Your mug stays on the left side, mine never moves. Even our distance feels well rehearsed. Somewhere along the way, love stopped interrupting. We didn't fall apart, we slowly blended in. Passion turned practical without noticing when. This feels like staying, not choosing to stay. Like repeating a promise we forgot to say. We finish each other's thoughts before they form, mistaken familiarity for being known. Your hand finds mine out of routine, touch without urgency, comfortably clean. I wonder if connection should feel louder than this. We didn't fall apart, we slowly blended in. Passion turned practical, I know nothing when. This feels like staying, not choosing to stay. Like repeating a promise we forgot today. We didn't fall apart, slowly blended in. Passion turned practical without noticing when. This feels like staying, not choosing to stay. Like repeating a promise we forgot to say. We forgot to say. Photographs still look honest from a distance. They don't show the effort, they're behind maintenance. We stopped asking questions that might rearrange what works on the surface, but quietly change. Security feels steady, ooh, 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 until it feels still. Ooh, ooh, ooh. We didn't fall apart, we slowly blended in. Passion turned practical without noticing when. This feels like staying, not choosing to stay. Like repeating a promise we forgot to say. I don't need chaos, I don't need a scene. I just need to know what this actually means. If love is a decision, we stop making it loud. If love is a feeling, where is it now? Habit holds weight, it mimics grace, but it never asks if two people change. Apart, we learn how to remain without checking whether we still feel the same. This feels like staying because leaving feels strange, not because the heart insists, but because nothing complains. Tonight I stay awake longer, just to feel the space between your breathing and my hesitation. Some truths don't arrive with drama or a sound. They sit in the room until they're found, and sit in the room until they're found. Eyes open, lights dim, the habit remains. At night, leaning on the window light, city breathing slow below. Your reflection in the glass has more than you let anyone know. You move like time is on your side, never rushing, never loud. Every step you take tonight feels intentional, feels grounded now. You don't say too much, but you don't need to. Your silence speaks before your words do. You don't need to touch me, I already feel it. Something in the way you move says you mean it. You don't have to promise, you don't have to explain. The way you look at me is already saying my name. Low lights tracing your outline, slow rhythm in your walk. You lean in just enough, like you choose when you talk. Everyone's trying to be noticed, trying hard to be seen, but you stay right in the moment, like you know what things mean. No, you don't chase attention, you let it come around. No, no, that kind of quiet confidence never makes a sound. You don't need to touch me, I already feel it. Every subtle signal is revealing. You don't have to promise, you don't have to stay. The way you look at me is already saying my saying my name without a sound, saying my name in the way you turn around. Maybe this is just a moment, maybe it fades by morning light, but right now it feels honest, and I don't wanna rush tonight. No pressure, no pretending, no roles we need to play. Just reading all the signals that don't need words to say. If we leave it here, I'm okay with that. Some connections don't need more to feelings. You don't need to touch me, I already feel it. Everything about your presence is deliberate. You don't have to promise, you don't have to explain. The way you look at me is already saying my name, saying my name in the quiet space between the beat and the break. Saying my name, no reason, no disguise. Some things are understood in a look in a night. Ooh. Oh. Whoa. The room feels different in the daylight, nothing hiding in the shade. All the words we didn't say last night still hanging where they stay. Your coffee's getting cold again, you don't seem to mind. There's a comment now, we're sitting like we're finally alive, yeah. We're not dancing around the truth, not afraid of what it costs. Some love survives the honest parts, not just the spark we lost. This isn't fire, this isn't flames, this isn't running through the rain. This is staying when it's quiet, this is knowing every name. This is choosing, not pretending, not escaping, not confused. This isn't falling into love, this is love you choose, yeah. I've been younger in my feelings, I've been loud about my pain. I thought love was in the chaos, in the pleasure and the strain. But you don't raise your voice to win, you don't need to feel control, you don't need the drama just to prove you care at all. I don't need to be saved, I don't need to be chased, I just need to be known in a real way. This isn't fire, this isn't flames, this isn't running through the rain. This is staying when it's quiet, this is knowing every name. This is choosing, not pretending, not escaping, not confused. This isn't falling into love, this is love you choose, love you choose, love you choose. Oh. There are days we won't agree, days we don't feel close, but we don't turn disagreement into reasons to go. I don't need you to complete me, I was fine before you came, but life feels more intentional ever since you stayed. I've been learning that forever isn't loud, it's slow, it's built in all the moments nobody else knows you. This isn't fire, this isn't flames, this isn't running through the rain. This is staying when it's quiet, this is knowing every name. This is choosing, not pretending, not escaping, not confused. This isn't falling into love, this is love. I don't need a perfect story, I don't need a highlight reel. Oh, I don't need a love that hurts me, just to prove that it's real. Oh, I've seen passion burn itself out, I've seen promises fade fast, but what we're building in the open feels like something meant to last. Oh, there's no fear in saying sorry, no power in keeping score, there's no threat in being honest. That's what trust is for. Maybe this won't make headlines, maybe it won't break the rules, but every day I wake up here feels intentional and true. If this is all it ever is, I'm good with that. There's a piece of something solid I never had. This isn't fire, this isn't flames, this isn't running through the rain. This is staying when it's quiet, this is knowing every name. This is choosing, not pretending, not escaping, not confused. This isn't falling into love, this is love. So the light moves across the floor like it's got nowhere to be. No rush, no need for more, just you and me. If the world keeps asking questions, we don't need to prove the truth. Some love speaks for itself in what you do. No big ending, yeah, no dramatic view, yeah. Just two people in the daylight, choosing what's true. I woke up with your name still in my head, like I never learned to leave. Morning light across an empty bed, explaining what I couldn't see. Your jacket's hanging by the door, like it's waiting for your shape. I don't reach for it anymore, but I notice every day I've been learning how to sit with quiet without filling up the space. Some truths don't need a riot, they just slowly rearrange. If love is just a moment that we borrow, then I gave mine all to you. If hearts are only honest till tomorrow, I thought ours would make it through. I'm not asking you to save me, I don't need you to stay. I just wanna know if you ever feel the same. Ooh. Every city kinda feels the same, different streets, familiar air. I hear your voice in crowded places, then remember you're not there. You said we needed different lives, different ways to grow, but every version of goodbye is harder than you know. I don't replay every memory, just the ones that felt real. Some connections never leave, they just change how they feel. If love is just a moment that we borrow, then I gave mine all to you. If hearts are only honest till tomorrow, I thought ours would make it through. I'm not asking you to miss me, I don't need a sign. I just wanna know if I ever cross your mind. Do you ever feel the same? Do you ever feel the same? Just a shadow, just a name. Do you ever feel the same? I've been finding I've been not, somewhere in between the two. I've been learning what I'm not since I stopped being with you. Your friends say you're doing well, that you found your rhythm now. I smiled like I couldn't tell what that smile was about. I don't regret the love we had or the nights we lost control. I just wonder which part of me you decided not to hold. If love is just a moment that we borrow, then I gave mine all to you. If hearts are only honest till tomorrow, I thought ours would make it through. I'm not asking you to come back, I don't need another try. I just wanna know if I still live behind your eyes. Maybe we were perfect for a season, maybe timing wasn't kind. Some people are a reason, but never meant to stay in time. I met almost loves and almost rights, learned new ways to fall, but every time I let someone get close, you're leaning on the wall. They say time heals everything, but time just softens sound, and silence has a way of keeping truth around. I don't miss the fights, I don't miss the fear, I miss the way you said my name, like I was safe right here. If I'm honest now, without the pride, I still measure love by the space you left inside. If love is just a moment that we borrow, then I gave mine all to you. If hearts are only honest till tomorrow, I thought ours would make it through. I'm not asking you to need me, I don't need you to explain. deeply love can burn. If you ever feel the same. I used to think the answers came fast, like lightning in a summer storm. But every year just teaches me how little I was sure before I chased reflections in the glass, tried on lives that weren't my own. Every wind felt temporary, every silence felt like home. I was running just to feel ahead, afraid of standing still. Turns out every road I didn't take taught me something real. I'm still learning how to stay when it's easier to leave. Still figuring out the way of the things I believe. I don't have it all together, but I finally understand. I'm not lost, I'm just becoming who I am. I met love in different forms, some soft, some sharp, some brief. Some stayed longer than they should, some left without relief. I try to be what they needed, I try to fit the frame, but every time I've been too far, I barely knew my name. I was measuring my value by who decided to stay, but approval fades faster than the truth you run away from every day. I'm still learning how to stay when it's easier to leave. Still figuring out the way of the things I believe. I don't have it all together, but I finally understand. I'm not lost, I'm just becoming who I am. I'm becoming. Time doesn't ask for permission, it just keeps moving on. You either learn how to listen or pretend nothing's wrong. I've been quiet with my questions, let them sit beside the truth. Some answers take a lifetime, some just need a little room. I don't need to be forgiven for every scar I wear. Some of them remind me that I dare. I'm still learning how to stay when it's easier to leave. Still figuring out the way of the things I believe. I don't have it all together, but I find you understand. I'm not lost, I'm just becoming who I am. There was a version of me who thought strength meant control, who thought love was something you could earn or oversell. But the older that I get, the less I try to impress. I don't need to be everything to finally feel like myself. I let go of every timeline I was scared to outgrow. Some dreams don't disappear, they just change how they show. And I don't need a spotlight to prove that I exist. Some lives are built quietly and still need something like this. If I'm honest now, without defense, I don't need certainty to make sense. I'm still learning how to stay when it's easier to leave. Still figuring out the way of the things I believe. I don't have it all together, but I finally understand. I'm not lost, I'm just becoming who I am. I don't need to rush the end thinking of where I've been. I'm not lost, I'm just becoming. Like a second heart, it lights cutting through the dark. I didn't plan to drive this far, but I needed space to think. The radio plays something old, a voice I almost know by name. Funny how a simple song can make the past feel close again. I packed a light, left heavy thoughts behind. Some things you can't outrun. Every memory draws a line between who I was and who I've become. I'm not leaving, I'm just moving, trying not to stay the same. Some doors close without a warning, some roads don't need a name. I'm not broken, just in motion, learning how to change. I'm not running from the truth, I'm just giving it some space. Every town looks half asleep, neon signs and empty streets. People living different lives while I pass them by unseen. I thought answers lived in noise, in crowded rooms and bright lights, but the quiet teaches lessons you don't hear until the night. I used to think that staying meant strength, leaving meant defeat. Sometimes growth just needs distance to finally speak. I'm not leaving, I'm just moving, trying not to stay the same. Some doors close without a warning, some roads don't need a name. I'm not broken, just in motion, learning how to change. I'm not running from the truth, I'm just giving it some space. Giving it some space. Giving it some space. I see my face in the rearview, older than I remember being. All the plans I never finished, all the ways I kept believing. There's a freedom in admitting you don't know what comes next. There's a common understanding you don't need to have it set. I don't need a final answer, I don't need a sign. I just need the courage to let the moment arrive. I'm not leaving, I'm just moving, trying not to stay the same. Some doors close without a warning, some roads don't need a name. I'm not broken, just in motion, learning how to change. I'm not running from the truth, I'm just giving it some space. The sky starts turning lighter somewhere around mile 10. I realize I'm not chasing who I used to be back then. I've loved hard, I failed louder than I ever planned to. But every scar is proof that I follow something true. Maybe home isn't a place, maybe it's a state of mind. Maybe peace is just accepting that you grow a little every time. I don't need to circle back to prove I made it through. Some chapters end quietly and still mean something true. If I pull over now and kill the sound just moving, trying not to stay the same. Some doors close without a warning, some roads don't need a name. I'm not broken, just in motion, learning how to change. I'm not running from the truth, I'm just giving it some space. The road keeps stretching forward, like it always knew my pace. I don't need to rush the ending, I'm fine arriving late. Every mile feels honest, every breath feels earned. I'm not lost out here, I'm just learning as I turn. The engine fades, the sky is clear. I don't know where I'll be tomorrow, but until I used to think the sky was something distant, something hanging out of reach. But standing here in this quiet moment, it feels closer than it used to be. I spent years filling up the silence, trying hard to make it loud. Didn't know that all this time the answers came when I slowed down. I was looking for a breakthrough, like it had to shake the ground. Turns out clarity arrives when you stop chasing sound. I don't need a miracle, I don't need a sign, I just need to trust that I'm right on time. Every step is adding up, even when it feels small. I'm not standing at the edge, I'm already moving forward. I've seen people race the daylight, afraid of falling behind, measuring their worth in moments that were never really mine. I tried wearing expectations like they fit my frame, but everything got lighter when I stopped playing that game. I don't need to prove my value, I don't need to win the room. Some things only grow when you give them room. I don't need a miracle, I don't need a sign, I just need to trust it I'm right on time. Every step is adding up, even when it feels slow. I'm not standing at the edge, I'm already moving forward. Moving forward, moving forward. But there are days I still get restless, still question where I stand. But doubt doesn't mean I'm failing, it just means I'm still a man. I've learned hope isn't pretending everything's okay. It's choosing to keep walking, even on a great day. I don't need the future written, I don't need it clear, I just need to be present right here. I don't need a miracle, I don't need a sign, I just need to trust it I'm right on time. Every step is adding up, even when it feels small. I'm not standing at the edge, I'm already moving forward. Moving forward, moving forward. There was a time I thought arrival was the point of all this life, that happiness was waiting somewhere past the finish line. But the older that I get now, the more this truth appears. Nothing's missing from this moment, even with the fear. I don't need to rush the seasons, I don't need to skip the climb. Some growth happens quietly and still changes your life. Every scar, every lesson, every wrong turn I made led me to this steady breathing, led me to today. I'm not late, I'm not early, I'm exactly where I should be. I don't need a miracle, I don't need a sign. I just need to trust that I'm right on time. Every step is adding up, even when it feels small. I'm not standing at the edge, I'm already moving forward. The sky doesn't change all at once, it just slowly turns blue. That's how I know this feeling is something true. I'll keep moving with intention, I'll keep leaving space for whatever's coming next to find its place. No big finish, no final call, just a quiet confidence, that's all.
I don't say much when I walk into a room. I let the moment speak. I've learned that silence carries weight if you let it be. I've been loud in other lives, I've been first in line, but none of that ever taught me what it means to take my time. I don't reach for every answer, I don't force the truth. Some things only make sense when they come to you. I don't need the spotlight, I don't need the noise, I don't need to raise my voice to make a choice. I just need what's steady, what I can stand behind. I don't need the rush, I need the time. I watch people chase the feeling like it's running out, turning every heartbeat into something loud. I've loved hard, I've let go, I've stayed when I should have moved, but nothing taught me balance like learning what not to prove. I don't confuse intensity with something real, I trust what stays consistent with how I feel. I don't need the spotlight, I don't need the noise, I don't need to raise my voice to make a choice. I just need what's steady, what I can stand behind. I don't need the rush, I need the time, I need the time, I need the time. There were years I fell behind, like I missed the sign. Everyone moving faster while I stayed in line. Speed never built a life that I wanted to keep. Some things grow deeper when you let them move slow and deep. I don't measure where I am by how far I've gone, I measure it by how much peace I've learned to hold on to. I don't need the spotlight, I don't need the noise, I don't need to raise my voice to make a choice. I just need what's steady, what I can stand behind. I don't need to rush, I need the time. I've seen love collapse from pressure, I've seen trust wear thin from people trying to arrive before they've settled in. I don't need perfection, I don't need control, I just need something honest that can grow old. There's a strength in staying when the world pulls wide. There's a quiet kind of confidence that doesn't need to hide. I don't chase the next big moment, I don't fear the calm. I've learned the longest roads are built one step at a time. I'm not late, I'm not early, I'm right here, and that's enough. I don't need the spotlight, I don't need the noise, I don't need to raise my voice to make a choice. I just need what's steady, what I can stand behind. I don't need the rush, I need the time. The night moves without asking, the world keeps its pace. I don't fight the direction, I'm in my place. No urgency, no warning, no finish line, just a life unfolding in real time. No echo, no release, just a steady breath and peace.
Yeah, I've been standing at the edge of things, not afraid, just aware, watching moments pass me by like they don't need me there. You used to chase every open door like time was something I could be, but every year keeps teaching me some things arrive when they're ready. I don't need to rush anymore, I don't need to prove I tried. I learned how to trust the weight of what survived. I don't need to be louder, I don't need to be first, I don't need to turn every feeling into something that hurts. I just need it honest, something I can stand inside. I don't need to burn it down to know I'm alive. I've seen love turn into leverage, words you sharp and thin. I've seen people hold on so tight they forget where they've been. I played my part in all of that, I won't pretend I'm clean, but clarity comes easier now than it ever did back then. I don't confuse intensity with something true, I trust mistakes consistent in what we do. I don't need to be louder, I don't need to be first, I don't need to turn every feeling into something that hurts. I just need it honest, something I can stand inside. I don't need to burn it down to know I'm alive, to know I'm alive, to know I'm alive. There were nights I questioned everything, if I was too far behind, everyone else moving faster while I stayed in my own time. But speed never made me stronger, it just made me tired and thin. I'd rather build something solid than win where I don't fit in. I don't need to be remembered for how hard I felt, I'd rather be known for how I held. I don't need to be louder, I don't need to be first, I don't need to turn every feeling into something that hurts. I
fame was the price of being real. That if it didn't break you open, wasn't something you could feel. But I've learned strength doesn't shout, it doesn't ask to be seen. Sometimes it's just waking up and choosing what you mean. I don't need chaos to move me, I don't need fear to decide. I've made peace with steady ground and the man I am inside. If this life never explodes into something loud and wild, I'll still know I lived it fully every mile. Yeah, I'm not numb, I'm not cold, confusing peace with letting go. I don't need to be louder, I don't need to be first, I don't need to turn every feeling into something that hurts. I just need it honest, something I can stand inside. I don't need to burn it down to know I'm alive. The sound fades in the distance, the night stays calm. I don't need a finish line to know where I'm from. Every step feels chosen, every breath feels mine. I don't need to prove this life, I'm alive. No echo, no relief, just a steady heart at peace.
The bar was closing early, or maybe it was just us. Lights half on, half forgotten, like nobody wanted to rush. Your jacket smelled like summer, even though it wasn't around. Funny how a moment finds you, yeah, before it makes a sound. Yeah. We didn't trade our stories, didn't ask where we were from. Names felt unnecessary, like they'd slow us down. You laughed at something trivial, I don't remember what, but I remember thinking, this is enough. Some connections don't arrive with instructions or intent. They exist in the moment and quietly spent. We didn't promise tomorrow, we didn't say a word. We let the night decide for us, and that was enough to work. I don't wonder what it meant, I don't need it defined. Some things only happen once and stay that way. Reflection in the window, kept moving out of sync, like the city was reminding us, not everything links. Oh, we talked about nothing important, skip the parts people fake. Ooh, you said you hate goodbyes, I said me too late. Oh, there's honesty and knowing when not to ask for more. Some doors stay meaningful because you never opened then promised tomorrow. We didn't say a word, we let the night decide for us, and that was enough to work. I don't wonder what it meant, I don't need it defined. Some things only happen once and stay that way in your mind. Stay that way, stay that way. Ooh, stay that way, stay that. Ooh, stay that way, stay that way. Stay that way. Ooh, my morning didn't feel dramatic. No regret, no reveal. Just an after image, ooh, of something real. Yeah. I passed a stranger smiling, thought for half a second it was you. That's how you know a moment did what it came to do. I don't chase repetition, I don't rewrite the scene. What we didn't build together is exactly what it needed to be. We didn't promise tomorrow, we didn't say a word. We let the night decide for us, and that was enough to work. I don't wonder what it meant, I don't need it defined. Some things only happen once and stay that way in your mind. People think significance requires duration, like meaning disappears without continuation. But some moments are complete the second they end. They don't ask to be revisited or explained again. I don't need to look you up or imagine where you went. The beauty was the timing, not what it represented. If I ever think of you, it won't be with regret, just a quiet appreciation for what we didn't try to get. Oh, Lord, oh, Lord, Dana. We didn't promise tomorrow, we didn't say a word. We let the night decide for us, and that was enough to work. I don't wonder what it meant, I don't need it defined. Some things only happen once and stay that way in your mind. The street looks ordinary now, like nothing ever changed. But somewhere in the background, ooh, that moment stayed the same. Oh, I don't carry it with longing, I don't carry it with pride. Just a perfectly timed memory. I don't try to rewrite. Just a night that stayed in time.
The house looks smaller than I remember, paint fading on the door. Same driveway, same old mailbox, just quieter than before. I didn't plan what I would say, I didn't practice the sound. Some places don't ask for language, they just let you sit down. My
mother asks if I've been eating like that question means more. My father nods from across the room, says less than he did before. The clock still ticks in the kitchen like it never learned my name. Funny how time feels different when you come back changed. I left to become someone, I came back still unsure. Turns out distance doesn't answer what you're running toward. I didn't come back with stories, I didn't come back proud. I just needed to stand somewhere that remembers me now. I don't need forgiveness, I don't need a plan. I just wanted it to be seen for who I am. My old room smells like dust in summers, posters peeling from the wall. Every version of who I was still waiting in the hall. I touch the light switch out of habit, it still works the same. Some things don't move forward, they just wait. I thought leaving meant progress, I thought staying meant fear. But life doesn't split that clean when you're standing here. I didn't come back with stories, I didn't come back proud. I just needed to stand somewhere that remembers me now. I don't need forgiveness, I don't need a plan. I just wanted it to be seen for who dinner, nobody mentions how long I stayed away. We talk about the weather like it explains the space. There's comfort in the ordinary, in words that don't accuse. Love doesn't always confront you, sometimes it just makes room. I don't rewrite the years, I don't apologize. Some distances are mistakes, they're just life. I didn't come back with stories, I didn't come back proud. I just needed to stand somewhere that remembers me now. I don't need forgiveness, I don't need a plan. I just wanted it to be seen for who I used to think belonging was something you outgrow, like roots were only useful before you learn to go. But roots don't pull you backward, they hold when you return. They don't ask you to explain what you had to learn. I don't regret the leaving, I don't resent the stay. Both taught me different versions of what it means to stay. If I leave again tomorrow, I'll leave without disguise. Some places don't trap you, they just recognize I'm not the same, but I'm still me. I didn't come back with stories, I didn't come back proud. I just needed to stand somewhere that remembers me now. I don't need forgiveness, I don't need a plan. I just wanted it to be seen for who I am, for who I am, for who I am. The night settles in familiar ways, crickets fill in the dark. I don't feel finished or complete.
just honest where I am. Tomorrow I'll pack my bag again, but something stayed behind. Not guilt, not doubt, just peace of mind. No conclusion, no demand, just a quiet understanding of where I stand.
I woke up with my phone on silent. 3 missed calls I don't recognize. The clock says I lost an entire day, but my body feels like it survived. There's dirt on my shoes, keys in a place I wouldn't choose. Something happened while I was me, but not the me I knew. The mirror doesn't offer clues, just the same familiar face, but something in my eyes suggests I've been somewhere I won't trace. There's a receipt in my jacket pocket for a drink I wouldn't buy, and a message typed but never sent saying I tried. I don't panic, I don't run, I let the questions come undone. What did I say when I stopped pretending? Who did I become when no one knew my name? If I cross the line I don't remember, does it still count the same? I'm standing in the aftermath of a version I can't find, trying to make peace with the hours I left behind. The street outside looks normal, like nothing took place, but normal doesn't mean untouched. It just learned how to stay straight. I replay fragments without order, a laugh, a room, a sound, like my mind is feeding me scenes without context now. I don't need the full picture, I just need to know if the silence I woke up with is earned or owed. What did I say when I stopped pretending? Who did I become when no one knew my name? If I cross the line I don't remember, does it still count the same? I'm standing in the aftermath of a version I can't find, trying to make peace with the hours I left behind. 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 There's a calm in not remembering, like damage already done. Regret needs a clear timeline, and I don't have one. Maybe I was honest, maybe I stayed quiet, maybe I let something go without even trying. I don't chase confirmation from people I won't meet. Some truths survive best incomplete. What did I say when I stopped pretending? Who did I become when no one knew my name? If I cross the line I don't remember, does it still count the same? I'm standing in the aftermath of a version I can't find, trying to make peace with the hours I left behind. We like to think identity is something continuous, but maybe it's conditional, momentary, porous. Maybe who we are depends on who's around to see, and maybe disappearing briefly is its own honesty. If I was free for one night without memory as proof, does that make it meaningless or closer to the truth? I don't need witnesses, I don't need a sign. Some things only happen once and stay undefined. I'm still here, just enough me come when no one knew my name. If I crossed the line I don't remember, does it still count the same? I'm standing in the aftermath of a version I can't find, trying to make peace with the hours I left behind. The phone stays quiet now, no answers coming through. Maybe nothing needs explaining, maybe that's true. I tie my shoes, step outside, let the morning decide. I don't chase the missing hours, I let them hide. No recall, no rewind, just a life moving on in time. The lights come up before I feel awake. Another city spelling my name wrong on purpose. I learned how to smile without moving my eyes. Learned how to answer questions I don't recognize. They ask me how it feels to finally be seen. I tell them it's louder than I imagine. Mirrors in hotels tell different stories. Every version of me looks more important than feel like becoming. Instead it feels like careful performing. I'm standing where I want it, but I don't feel aligned. Success fits my body, not my mind. Every door keeps opening further from my skin. I became the headline before I settled in. Old friends speak carefully, like I'm fragile glass. New ones talk numbers in future tense. I rehearse conversations before they exist, just to sound certain about things I still question. I don't miss the struggle, I miss the direction. When effort had meaning beyond perception. I'm standing where I want it, but I don't feel aligned. Success fits my body, not my mind. Every door keeps opening further from my skin. I became the headline before I settled in. Before I settled in. They say pressure creates what comfort never could, but nobody mentions what it erases. I archive old versions like outdated files. Each one believes something different was vital. I keep my voice steady, my schedule precise. I learned how to sound sure at a profession price. I'm standing where I want it, but I don't feel aligned. Success fits my body, not my mind. Every door keeps opening further from my skin. I became the headline before I settled in. If I slow down, everything
unmeasured present. The house sounds smaller than it did before. Same floorboard speaking in a lower voice. Photographs lean sideways, frames losing their fight. Time doesn't rush, it just rearranges the light. I used to think you worried because you didn't trust me. Every question felt like a quiet argument. I packed my future early, left the answers behind. Thought distance would teach me how to define myself. I didn't know then what patience costs, or how love learns to speak in pauses. I'm starting to hear you in the choices I make, the careful steps before I change. What sounded like fear was understanding time. You weren't holding me back, you were watching love. Your hands move slower, but they still know where everything belongs without being told. You repeat the same stories like they might disappear if the words don't land somewhere near. I smile more gently, I interrupt less. Some lessons arrive when pride rests. I'm starting to hear in the choices I make, the careful steps before I change. What sounded like fear was understanding time. You weren't holding me back, you were watching the line, watching the line, watching the line. I noticed the calendar more than before, how years stop asking what they're for. I catch myself saying things I once resisted. Advice circles back once it's lived in. I don't need agreement, I need perspective. Turns out distance makes love at it. I'm starting to hear you in the choices I make, the careful steps before I change. What sounded like fear was understanding time. You weren't holding me back, you were watching the line. Someday I'll be standing in a doorway like this, measuring silence with moments I miss, trying to protect what I cannot control, learning too late that guidance is hope. If love feels heavy, it's because it stays long after strength starts to fade. I'm starting to hear you even when you're quiet, and how I pause before I decide. What I called pressure was future inside. You weren't holding me back, you were watching the line. I leave the light on when I walk away. Some habits survive even change. If time keeps moving like everyone says, I hope I carry forward what you gave. The door closes softly. Nothing needs to be said.
Morning settles on the feet like it's unsure it belongs. Windows hold the leftover dark from a night that moved on. The city breathes in fragments, concrete learning how to age. Every block remembers a different face. I walk past places that change their names, same corners, different intention. Neon learn to flicker, less confident now. Even the signs hesitate when they light up. Progress leaves fingerprints even when it pretends it didn't stay. This city keep moving without asking me. It shares its layers effortlessly. I stand between versions, trying to decide which parts of me still recognize. Apartments filled with strangers who think this is new. They speak in future plans like history never existed. I don't correct them, I let the moment pass. Some truths survive better unannounced. Time doesn't erase, it reorganizes. This city keeps moving without asking me. It shares its layers effortlessly. I stand between versions, trying to decide which parts of me still recognize. Still recognize. Side streets grow quieter, not from peace, from being overlooked too many times.
walls absorb stories they never repeat. Some memories fade by being complete. I used to think permanence was a form of control. This city keep moving without asking me. It sheds its layers effortlessly. I stand between versions, trying to decide which parts of me still recognize. Growth doesn't apologize, it just arrives with new silhouettes blocking the sky. I measure change by what I stop missing. Adaptation feels quiet when resistance finishes. Maybe belonging is temporary by design. Maybe roots learn when to realign. Ooh, oh, this city keeps moving, I let it be. I don't chase versions that outgrew me. I carry the outlines of where I stood. Some places shape you by leaving you. Evening smooths the edges, daylight couldn't keep. Streetlights hum quietly, promises they won't repeat. I walk without urgency, let the moment stay. Some chapters end by rearranging space. Footsteps fade, the city continues. City continues.
Midnight for me, morning for you. The clock divides what we used to share. Screams go quietly, waiting for words that arrive later than they should. Oh, we learned each other in real time. Every thought unfinished, still understood. Now messages sit untouched for hours, meaning delayed by the sun's movement. Distance changed the rhythm without asking permission. We didn't disappear, we drifted by design. Same connection, different time. I read your life in fragments and delays, still close in memory, further each day. You talk about weather I already passed. You mentioned plans I already live. Laughs arrive late, context feels thin. Timing edits what friendship means. Silence stretches between good intentions. We didn't disappear, we drifted by design. Same connection, different time. I read your life in fragments and delays, still ago, when nights aligned without effort, every inside joke still makes sense, even if the moment already left. Some bonds survive by learning how to bend. We didn't disappear, we drifted by design. Same connection, different time. I read your life in fragments and delays, still closing memory further each day. Maybe closeness is a shared moment, held long enough to shape you. Maybe distance doesn't erase meaning, it teaches memory how to carry weight. If we meet again somewhere between clocks, I'll recognize you, even if the timing doesn't. We didn't disappear, we changed our pace. Same history, different place. If the world aligns us at another stage, I'll speak like time never got in the way. I sent a message without urgency, let it arrive when it arrives. Some connections live beyond reply speed, measured in years instead of nights. The screen goes dark, the bond remains. The room feels wider after the echo fades. Every sound settles into its place. I stand where ambition once spoke too fast, learning how silence lets moments last. I chased a version built from expectation, every step forward pulled by explanation. When it collapsed, it stayed polite. Failure arrived without a fight. Turns out collapse can feel instructional. I'm rebuilding slowly with fewer claims, choosing intention over praise. The ground feels different when pride releases. Progress begins where performance finishes. Friends speak carefully, unsure what to say. I read concern in what sustains. Let go of images built for display. Confidence shifts from proving to being. Strength arrives once urgency leaves. Peace grows heavier than expectation. I'm rebuilding slowly with fewer claims, choosing intention over praise. The ground feels different when pride releases. Progress begins where performance finishes. Failure strip language down to its core. Remove decoration, left something more. Ambition learns posture after the fall. Standing upright without leaning at all. Achievement once shouted, now meaning speaks. Quiet statements built to keep. I'm rebuilding slowly, aligned with pace. Letting time refine the shape. This life feels steadier without disguise. Growth continues once pressure slides. Evening settles across unfinished plans. Tomorrow waits without demands. I close the chapter without regret. Some endings teach what to protect. Breathe steady, weight balanced.